I mean, again, they met all their tiers. So all of the extra rewards that you get for those tiers, you get them if you donate now. So like, there's no reason not to if you can. That's
speaking of Kickstarters, Kassan mentions, I hear there's a Kickstarter to save the Acolyte, but only managed $54. I
bet you there's a Kickstarter to kill the Acolyte. It's made a lot more money.
That's a nice segue into our only news article this week. Sorry, Don. I'm sorry. I know you were crying when you saw this, but it's official.
Not at all, actually.
The Acolyte's been canceled. There will be no season 2 whatsoever. How do we feel about this news?
You heard?
Are we surprised?
Not only did they kill it, that you can't find any of the merch anymore. They took that off the site too. Like when you go to the site to buy merch for one of the Star Wars properties, all the other properties are still listed there. Even like everything except the Christmas special is listed there, with the exception of Acolyte 2. Like, it's kind of weird.
Did you
hold it?
What did you think, John? We'll start with John. What did you think of the news, and were you surprised at all?
I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that they took the merch down. But I am ready for both of our favorite stuff. Don's favorite beyond everything is Star Wars. My favorite beyond everything else is Star Trek. And both of our properties are really suffering right now. And I would like to see them give it to a good director, somebody who loves the property, loves the story, grew up with it like Don did, or like I did with Star Trek, and give those properties the love they deserve. You're getting a little bit more of that with Star Trek, like with Prodigy's doing well, really well, and Lower Decks is great. But Star Wars, man, they need to show it more love. They got to give it to somebody who wants to tell a good story, I
don't know if I necessarily agree it's that bad, because again, The Mandalorian is awesome. So it's like,
well, and Andor kicks ass. So, and Mandalorian was good too. I mean, there were good parts of that. There were good parts of, was it Kenobi,
Yeah.
So, there's still some good stories to be told in there. They just have to find somebody who cares about it enough to do it without deciding, oh, I'm gonna change this entire part of the lore because I want it to be memorable. I want to put that mark on it myself. You don't want somebody who wants to put their mark on it. You want somebody who wants to tell a good story to give the fans what they deserve. Fans like Don. Damn it.
Yeah. What about you, Don? What did you think?
Here's what I thought. I went through a little bit of a wave of emotions at first with, okay, there are these loose ends. So the whole Venestra Quimir thing, like, okay, what the fuck's up with that? Yoda being involved, like we're never even going to know exactly what Venestra told Yoda. And they set up these two major characters that were a result of a vergence of the Force. And again, now we're not going to know what happened. Then after kind of dealing with that, because I always thought of this as a one-shot, and I was actually surprised that there were threads that were left open.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised to hear that there was not going to be a season 2, but as much as I liked this show, because I'm the type of Star Wars fan, and I realize this, I like the universe and the lore to be expanded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not in it for any particular thing other than, hey, what else can I experience of this universe?
Right.
And for me, the Acolyte went into some things. Plagueis being a very hot topic in Star Wars and something that people want explored tremendously. But looking at the data, or at least the data that's been presented out there, because I'm not going to vie for its accuracy, but it does seem a little bit accuracy as we have the cancellation. But obviously, even though when the first episode, they were breaking streaming records, there was a steep drop off. Okay. Again, that is the data that is presented. And with that, right, what other decision are they going to make? They're not going to do a season 2. With all that said, you got Boba Fett back in the Mandalorian show. You know, Ahsoka back in the Mandalorian show. You know, Grand Admiral Thrawn in Mandalorian / Ahsoka. My point is, this doesn't, just because they're not going to have an Acolyte season 2 does not mean they're going to not have another movie or another show that features any of these characters, or hopefully Plagueis. Hopefully there's a whole thing to learn about Plagueis. And okay, it's not the Acolyte. No problem.
They have to do Plagueis justice, though. Like, he's a huge part of the history. They need somebody who's going to pay that history, you know, the credit it deserves. It's just whatever they do with him, it's got to be epic.
Right. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And you're right on one major point there, Don, is that we're never going to know what she said to Yoda. But part of me is relieved that we're never going to know.
Well, it leaves it open for somebody else to come in and make it right.
Because because they could easily have turned that into Yoda knew and hid it all these years, and now you're turning Yoda into a bad guy, and it's like, nah, let's not do that.
Actually, if you want to see what she said and what Yoda said back to her, look at the link that I posted.
Oh, yes.
I love that idea, Thrawn.
Vin Diesel for Plagueis?
Oh my God.
They just need to extend between his mouth and his nose a little bit, and it'll be perfect. They'll save money.
So, yeah, I think you're right. They will pick up these story threads somewhere else, maybe in a new property. They'll get someone new to write it and direct it and all that jazz. And we might see one or two of the characters return, but it's not going to be an Acolyte season 2. It'll be the early days of Yoda or something like that. Though he's still an old man in this, so I don't know. It's only 100 years.
Yeah.
All right. Guess what? That's it. That's the news. Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.